Hello everyone, welcome to Jesper's Tales and another episode of Moving to Night City. This show is a Cyberpunk RED build show where I take people, places, and things from other franchises and bring them into the tabletop role-playing game Cyberpunk RED. During this episode, I bring the Gunblade from the Final Fantasy universe into the world as a variable weapon. Enjoy! I have two different versions. There's Squalls, which was released in Final Fantasy VIII, I think is the very first Gunblade. And then up here is someone's rendition of, this is Blademaker, Props Cosplay, of Lightning's Gunblade, which changes, it actually, like, you know, it has gears and everything, and it moves from a sword into a gun that can fire. Because Squalls, as far as I know, never actually fired bullets. It just kind of had the handle of a gunblade. And I like Lightning's better. I like the gun aspect of it. Okay, so defining features. I think heavy melee weapon. Often wielded with 2 hands. I think of Cypher, who could wield it with 1, but Squall always had 2. Or not a heavy melee weapon, oh my goodness, a very heavy melee weapon. In Lightning's case, can turn into a gun and fire bullets, and that's what I'm going to build today. I want to build Lightning's version where it is a very heavy melee weapon as well as a gun. I'm not going to look over other options. That's what it is. That is what the Gunblade is. We're going to create the blade portion first. And for that, I'm going to pop over into Black Chrome. And I'm going to take a look at some of their weapons. Specifically, I wanted to look at, I think it's the no katana. Ignores target's armor if it's SP 7 or lower. I thought there was one that ignored it if it was SP 11 or lower, and maybe I'm just misremembering, which is not unheard of. It would have to be a very heavy melee weapon. Oh, the Kandachi Mono, is it the Kandachi Mono 3? In the core rulebook? That's what I'm thinking of? It's in the core rulebook. It's 5,000, it's Kandachi Mono 3, and it ignores the target's armor entirely if it's lower than stopping power 11. It does have it does need a correct biometric key in order to do that. Otherwise, it doesn't get that extra special bonus. I don't know. I feel like a Gunblade should do we want that? Because I also don't want to take away from like the Kandachi's option, because that is their cool thing. Where our cool thing for the Gunblade is that it can shift between one and the other form, right? So I think the first thing is it is a two-handed Exotic, very heavy melee weapon. This has a hyphen. There we go. I would say if you have a body of 10 or higher, you can wield it with one hand. Does lightning... I'm trying to think of what... I suppose we could have other options, right? We could have a lighter gunblade. Because as we've seen with the Kendachi, right, there's the mono katana, there's the mono wakizashi, and then there's the mono 3, right? So they're all similar, they all just have different properties dealing different damage. So we could always have whatever the gunblade is, and this is like the heaviest instance. Where you might have a lighter one, it just doesn't do as much damage. So for now, we'll just work on like assuming kind of like Squall's template one. But because Cypher could wield it with one hand, I'm going to say if you have a body of 10 or higher, you can wield it with one hand. So that's 4d6. And then there were once per turn, a user may swap between weapon types as a free action. So the other type, I guess I should put the other type here, is a... I don't think I have to put one-handed. I think I can just put... very heavy pistol. Is it a... Do we want it to be a very heavy pistol? Or a very heavy... Or a heavy SMG? I guess the difference mechanically is that SMGs have auto fire. And suppressive fire. I'm trying to think if... I feel like it would be very Final Fantasy to... you know, kind of do that gun burst of... where you're, like, firing a hail of bullets. So I'm gonna say... Instead, I'm gonna say it's a heavy SMG. So it still only requires one hand. Do I want it to be a heavy SMG? No. I want it to be... No, I think just an SMG, but you can do auto fire with it. An SMG... So this is a rate of... So the Gunblade is a rate of fire 1, dealing 46 damage. An SMG is a rate of fire 2 that deals 2d6, I believe. Yes, but has auto fire. And suppressive capabilities. Now, I think I'm missing an extra P in there. There we go. I could also... Do I want to make it so it only fires... The gun only fires on fire mode? I don't think so. I think... that's good. But the gun... Actually, the Gunblade should be a two-handed... No, that's exotic. That's just a regular one. That's fine. I'm looking at Toggle's Temple. And there's this like cost and then slots and then if it comes with anything. And I feel like, you know what, the SMG or this, even the Gunblade grip, the handle, because it's the same handle that you use either way. Comes with a smart link attachment. Smart gun link attachment. So if you don't have the smart gun link, which is fine, you just don't get the +1 to your check if you don't have a subdermal grip or interface plugs. That doesn't stop a regular person from wielding it if they wanted to. It's also incompatible with any and all magazine attachments, because we can't... It can't have like a barrel or an extended mag, because that would ruin the mechanics of swapping it from gun to blade, right? So we don't want to do that. 0 slots because the smart gun link is there. Even if a tech upgrades it to have an attachment slot, it's still incompatible with any magazine attachments. If they want to somehow put an under... like an infrared night vision scope, having like a scope or a shotgun under barrel or grenade launcher under barrel, again, to this weapon would prevent it from folding and swapping, right? I could, you know what, I'll just say any and all weapon attachments. There we go. With any and all other weapon attachments. It can have the smart gun link attachment, anything else, and it gets destroyed. Or it cannot use. I think that makes sense for what we're trying to create here. Standard quality. I suppose I'm going to need the cost of this in a minute. So an SMG is only 100, but a very heavy melee weapon is 5. You're getting 2 and 1. Comes with the smart gun link attachment to it, which is another 500. So far base, it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna say it's 1,000. And let me just see. it doesn't look like I'm missing anything. Like, that's kind of the base of it. And 1,000 is very expensive. Above that is luxury, going up to 5,000. I think I mean, the cool thing is that you just get to flip it around, right? You get to choose which weapon mode you're in, but otherwise it's nothing. There's nothing special about either weapon. You know, the uniqueness of it, for the most part, is that you can switch as a free action once a turn between one mode or the other. So I don't think the price needs to be more than 1,000. Just about done. The Gunblade didn't take nearly as much time as I thought it would. I thought it would take a little bit longer, but there's nothing overly special about it. It's 1,000 EB. It's a two-handed exotic, very heavy melee weapon, so it's your basic rate of fire 146. If you have body score higher than 10, you can wield it with one hand. I don't know if that's rules as written, but I'm adding it in there. That can be converted into a regular SMG that has, and SMGs have auto fire and suppressive capabilities. And then once per turn, you can swap between weapon types as a free action, or without using an action, I suppose, is how they normally word it. It has 0 slots. It comes with a Spark Gun Link attachment. It is incompatible with any and all other weapon attachments, because that would mess with the ability to swap. So the Gunblade was actually fairly easy to craft. I think a lot of it would be in the flavor, like the flavor text and the design. Definitely a style over substance weapon, although being able to, you know, change to auto fire or suppressive depending on, you know, how the tide turns in combat, is nice without it taking up an action, to just, you know, have one weapon and just be able to be like, oh, switch, did or of course, you know, there's also the rate of fire 2 single shot mode, so. Thank you all so much for joining me for this episode of Moving to Night City, as we brought the Gunblade from Final Fantasy into the world of Cyberpunk RED. If you made it to the end of the video, type squall in the comments. In the next video, I'll be looking at bringing things from the Minecraft universe into the world of Cyberpunk RED. If you're interested in full, lightly edited videos of the entire livestream, they are available to select Patreon members and released 1 week early. To become a member and support me as a content creator, head over to patreon.com/Jessiper. If you'd like to keep up with me and my other content, you can do so via Blue Sky. And that is all for this episode of Moving to Night City. Please take care of yourselves, please stay safe, and until next time, meow for now.